My name is Angel, and we are back at the Ladies of Selling LA Luxury podcast. And I have a special guest, someone so dear to my heart. She is one of the agents on our team, Loosine.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about tips of surviving your first year as a real estate agent. But before we get started, today's your 1 year anniversary.
Yes, it is.
Are you excited or what?
I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
Can we take shots at the end? Well, I can't
can.
take shots, but we'll make sure she takes shots at the end.
Yes, definitely.
To celebrate. But I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
I'm sure it's been a roller coaster. Before we get started, please, no filter. Like the real, the raw, the juicy of like what it is like to be a realtor your first year.
Okay. Well, it's definitely not easy, but everybody makes it seem like it's a glamorous thing, and it is what it is on Selling Sunset. That's not what it is. It's hard work. You have to put in a lot of time, and you have to expect not to make money the first year.
Yeah.
But if you put in a lot of time and effort, you will.
Yeah. It's been hard. It's been rough, right?
Yeah.
So do you wanna like jump into you wanna share any stories, or this is all her topic. So I'm just here to be in the conversation, to talk about it. So I'll share my insight as she goes through her tips.
Okay, so I have 10 tips. The first one is to definitely join a team. Before you join a team, I would say interview with at least 5 teams. Ask a lot of questions, because when I joined a team, I only interviewed Angel and Anne-Marie and another team. And halfway through, I was like, wait, what else is out there?
Yeah.
And luckily, they were nice enough to allow me to interview with other teams. And I decided, no, the grass is not greener on the other side. I'm happy where I am. And I just told them this is what I need. And we made it work. We
encouraged her because I know you probably have heard our story, but if you haven't, we were Hot Mess Express when we first started. Looking back now, we still did a lot of things right, but we were a new team. We were new at being team leaders. And so we made sure every agent that joined our team knew that there'd be a lot of growing pains and learning along the way.
Yeah.
So we're like, please go interview more teams now that you've got some experience. I don't want you to feel like we want people that are committed to being with us and like on the growing journey with us. And so we don't want to hold anyone back either. So if we don't bring the value that you need in that time in your career, like it's a business decision, right? Yeah. So we're like, go, spread your wings, fly. And then she stayed with us. I was so happy.
Yeah. I feel like if you interview with many teams, you really get an idea of who's trying to take advantage of you and who's there to support you and help you grow.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I think the last thing I'll say on teams is the reason that I decided that a team was what I wanted to do is because I realized that there was a lot more people that were doing the wrong thing for people, and they weren't really setting people up for success. So I knew I didn't have it all the way together, but I knew we're building something greater than ourselves that are truly putting people first. Because we're in the business of money. So it's very easy for people to forget that we're in the business of people, including the people on your team. And so you can definitely get blinded by like, how can I make the most money and capitalize off people and forget that they're humans too with goals too. Yeah.
Sure. So the next tip is to work to learn and not to earn. Because if the first year you're just working to earn money and you don't have anything saved up and you're kind of getting desperate, you're going to quit, or you're going to find another part-time job or even a full-time job. And I was in the mindset I need to make money. And I ended up finding a part-time job. It took away time from real estate. And then I realized, no, I need to get back to the mindset of I'm learning.
Yeah.
When you're, for example, someone who's in law school or medical school, the first 4 or 5 years medical school, they don't make money. They make barely anything. So those are the years that they're really working to learn, but then they start making money. So you really need to remember that you're learning versus earning.
I will say one of the things about this too is we do get really big checks. It is no secret. And so along with that is if you don't have that mentality that Loosine just shared where you're like, let me become the best at my craft, let me learn, let me how to better serve my clients. What am I good at? What am I not good at? Where do I fit into this real estate world? You will become commission breath, meaning like you will do anything it takes to close a deal because you're in survival mode. Whether or not you consciously know you're doing that, you do it. And I've seen some of the sweetest people try to push a deal through, and I'm like, this is not good for the client. But they have bills to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't set themselves up for success to have that space to be able to say, I know that I'm learning, because the 3 classes that we have, it's so easy to get a license.
Yeah.
It doesn't teach you enough.
Anybody can get their license.
And we're talking about huge transactions. Like, it doesn't matter if you took your 3 classes or you went to school for 10 years for real estate. Like, you can sell $25 million properties, or, you know, commercial properties, or buildings. It's like, that takes time to understand and learn to be able to be the best, instead of just pushing paper for a transaction. You can hire an attorney to do that, you know? So I think that that's important too.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the first year you have to do those transactions to really learn what it is. Even for the first 5 years, like, you're not going to know everything.
I'm learning every day.
Constantly learning every day.
Anne Marie's been in the business for 17 years, and there's sometimes I even bring something to her, she's like, I had no idea. I'm like, what? I'm like flattered, you know? But we're learning every day. Every transaction is unique, you know, and it has people behind it. And so you have to be willing to be patient, I feel like. Yeah. What's number 3?
So number 3 is save your money before you get into real estate. Like I said, most people say you're not going to make money the first year. I disagree with that. I think if you work hard enough, you will. But you're going to get desperate, like Angel said, if you're not making money. So you need to have at least a year and a half of savings, so that you're not getting to the point where you need to make money, you're pushing deals that aren't good for the client, and you're just at a space where you're able to work for the client, do what's better for the client.
I agree. I would say too, though, that I think it's a common misconception that you just have to dive in full time. Of course, you're going to accelerate much faster if you do that. But if you're someone that's like, I don't have that money saved, I don't have a cushion, that's a privilege. It comes from a place that I can't do, or I can't save money in other ways. I think the most important thing to take from it is to partner with someone that is full-time, keep working the job that you have, and then once you get to a place where your business is scaled, then go into full-time. Because the one cool thing about our business is you can get really creative. So it doesn't mean what works for you in your schedule doesn't have to work for me in my schedule. I could have a full-time job and partner with someone like Loosine that's full-time in the business and still be building my business on the side. People do it all the time and then take the leap. But whatever you do, just make sure you make a smart financial decision with it, because when those big checks come in, you'll spend them so quick. They'll already be spent before you make them, and then you'll be stressed out for the next one, and you don't want to be running after deals.
And then your taxes are going to come through and you're not going to be able to pay them.
That too. No one ever talks about that. It's not fun. That's a good one. What's next?
So next is create a schedule and have a routine. So every day for the week or the day before, you need to come up with a schedule of what you're going to do hour by hour, minute by minute, and create a routine of consistently doing that, because if you do something for 90 days, it's going to show effect. And if you do it for a year, it's definitely going to make a difference in your life and your business.
The biggest fallacy that I hear people say is, I got into real estate to free my time and make my own schedule. Like, yes, the goal is to get to freedom, financial freedom and time freedom, but I'm going to tell you, you have to bust your ass to get there. It is not happening overnight. Unless you come from a very unique background, like you were brought into the business, you already had a book of business, or your parents were in the business, you have to bust your ass to build that business, to be able to take that time and even set boundaries, because we're a 24/7 business. And it's really unfortunate, but if someone calls you and you don't answer, they're going to call the next agent unless they know you personally. So the time freedom is probably the biggest bullshit I've ever heard. It actually irks my nerves, because I'm like, I believe in balance, but people look at me and they're like, Angel, how did you get there so quickly in your career? And I'm like, not by time freedom, by like working by a schedule all the time and putting in overtime. Even still to this day, I'm working more than I should be working, and still trying to like remember to have boundaries, you know?
Yeah. I feel like when, like you said, people get into real estate thinking that they're going to have their own time, but I've had a friend tell me, you're a workaholic, you work 14 hours a day. I'm like, I have to. Right now. If I don't answer a client at 10 p.m., they're going to go to somebody else.
Yeah. Eventually, you will get to a point where where people, the boundaries can be set, which is where I just got to. Like, the boundaries are set. Here's where my non-negotiables are. And if you're a part of a team, they step in during those hours to ensure that you have balance too.
Yeah.
If you're by yourself, then and you probably should staff up to do that. So there's an assistant working the hours that you're not. But at the very beginning, it's like anything else. Any career you start, any successful person as an athlete, a doctor, an attorney, they are not only working a few hours a day and expecting to make as much money as they do.
Yeah.
So it's actually one of my biggest pet peeves. When people are like, "Oh, I'm excited to be in real estate. I can't wait to have freedom."
Or I'm gonna get it just to have it under my belt. I'm like,
yeah, no, just become a referring agent at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no, it's not a good idea. That's a good one.
Okay, so the next tip is to expect long hours. This is kind of going off of what we had previously said. You're not making your own schedule. Your clients are making your schedule for you. You think you're gonna work 9 to 5. You think you're gonna work occasionally and have a few days off and be able to make tons of money. That's not going to be the case. Your clients make your schedule for you, and you need to be available.
Yeah. Or I would say too, the biggest thing that I always see is people taking a lot of vacations because they get the big checks. And we actually had a situation where an agent that was on our team before wrote an offer with somebody else because she left to go to Mexico, and she didn't connect that client that she had been working with, and they were friends. They had a personal relationship, and she didn't connect them with somebody else on the team to take over those showings. So they went to showings with someone else they knew that did real estate, and they wrote an offer with them, and then we don't get paid until we close the deal.
Yeah.
So if you're someone that can't work those long hours, I highly suggest that you partner with someone that has just as much work ethic as you, and you guys split the time. So someone is always available on your team.
Yeah, and that's the great thing of being on a team.
Yeah, you get that support.
Able to help you.
It's so good.
Okay, so the next tip is real estate is not as pretty and as glamorous as it seems on social media and TV. I said it before. You're going to have to put in a lot of effort and a lot of work, and it's gonna be late nights, and you're gonna lose sleep at nights because your client's rethinking a deal, but in the end it's gonna be worth it. And once you get into the rhythm of it, it's gonna be worth it. It's just not as pretty as glamorous as people make it seem.
Even clients, so this is a really big objection that we get all the time. Why do I have to pay you the commission I'm paying you? It's so easy. My niece was visiting for a month from Cleveland. She's 15, and she was at one of our team meetings, and she's like, "You guys work so much. I thought that you guys just sold pretty houses." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm selling Sunset maybe, but like that is not what truly happens behind the scenes." I can't tell you how many times I've had to jump over a fence because the code was wrong to get the key. Break a lockbox because it was wrong to be able to get inside, and the agent is not answering any calls. I tend to like to wear sneakers to my showings because there's always something that comes up, whether it's an animal or something, or there's like a backyard that's tons of mud. It is not, even in these homes that are multi-million-dollar homes, they are not always what you see on TV. It's just not as pretty. But we love to showcase those homes. We love everyone to have those high expectations, but behind the scenes, you might enter into a property that's an investment property and there's cockroaches. Like,
oh my God. I had last week or a couple of weeks ago, I had cockroaches falling off the ceiling, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
And that's a part of the business, you know? And some people don't see that.
No.
I think we should start showcasing it more, because I think that we are the ones that kind of make that stigma, because we glamorize the good parts too. So I think we're kind of partially at fault for that, and all the TV shows are so.
No, I have family and friends that tell me, you're so lucky, you make your own schedule and you sell pretty houses, you see all these nice houses. I'm like, but there's so much more to it. I turn out for hours on a hot day.
It could be 110 degrees.
People yelling at me, shutting the door in my face, hanging up the phone. It is what it is, and you have
the big challenge too, because you're young, and so a lot of clients will be like, "I'm not working with you. What do you know? Where are your parents?" type thing.
As a young woman, I think it's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
But you just have to have the knowledge, and people will eventually trust you.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next tip is be loud about your business. Tell everyone that you're in real estate. Just have conversations. If you hear somebody talking about real estate, get involved. Give your 2 cents, and make sure everyone around you knows that you're in the business, and they should come to you when they're ready.
So it's very interesting because when I first started full-time in real estate a few years ago, Tom Ferry and every other coach, if you have been in business at all, will tell you it's all about the numbers. So how many conversations are you having? How many people are you in front of? And I came to one of my colleagues or a mentor of mine, I think a year into the business, and I was like, something is going wrong. Although I did very well my first year, I think I closed $8 million my first year full-time. I was like, the conversion is not there. And they're like, well, how many conversations are you having? And I was telling them how many people I'm in front of, it was so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And then after going through it, they're like, something doesn't make sense because you know what you're talking about. You have the experience, like you really are good at your craft.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you bringing up the real estate in the conversation? And I was like, well, wait, no one told me that part.
Yeah.
So having a conversation with people and intentionally talking about real estate are two totally different things.
Yeah.
So like I made that mistake for, I think it had to have been a year where I was talking to people and I built this big community. And then the question was truly the most important one is, do you even talk to them about real estate? And I'm like, no. Like, unless they bring it up.
And I think the thing about it is that there's an insecurity of not having the full knowledge. And if
at the beginning,
there's a conversation that comes up, you don't know what to say, it's okay. You can say, hey, that's a great question. I don't know, but I can let you know and I can get back to you. But you need to be loud about it. Like, I'll be in an Uber and I'll be on the phone or texting and my boyfriend will be in the backseat and there'll be a conversation about real estate and he'll nudge me, like, get involved. Like, you need to get involved and tell them you're in real estate. Give them your card. I'm like, okay. Well.
I always tell people too, if you love me, you will be my biggest cheerleader. So like anytime you hear someone, because you might be out in groups that I'm not in and you hear people talking about it, I should be the first person that you bring up.
Yes.
But becoming the expert and the go-to person comes before that because no one wants to refer someone and then they look really stupid because you just don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having those friends that support you and bring up your name is everything. Like
that's actually how not being from here, how my business got started is because my honey's friends, family. If you're Armenian and you're listening, you guys are the best supportive village I've ever had. I'm sure there are some people that worked with me just because they would never look my man's father in the face and say they used someone else because they would be angry.
Yeah.
Even when I first got started. But like make sure everyone in your circle knows and that they feel confident in you too.
Yeah, for sure. So the next tip is find a compatibility partner. I'm lucky that the day after I joined your team, I met my compatibility partner and she became my best friend.
Yeah.
We do everything together. If I'm getting lazy or if I have if I lose motivation, she calls me, gives me that motivation and vice versa. Like if you don't have that person that's going to keep you accountable, you're going to fall back, get lazy, you're going to forget about your business.
Is it a compatibility partner or an accountability partner? I might not even, I'm asking.
Is it?
I know accountability, but is compatibility one too?
Oh, I mean compatible. Did I say compatible?
But they're both important. You have to be compatible and you have to be accountable. But I was like, wait, I haven't heard that one before. It's my first.
Oh my gosh, no.
We are not starting that over. We're totally including that.
Accountability partner.
But an accountability partner that you're compatible with.
Oh, for sure. We go hand in hand. We're like two pieces of a puzzle. I literally think she's my soulmate at this point.
Yeah, you guys are so cute.
For sure. And
we watched it all blossom.
I couldn't do anything without her.
I feel like if they, whenever they have their sisterhood wedding, will be like the reverends in it.
Tomorrow's our 1 year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because the day after I joined your team, so
that's exciting.
It's great. Make sure to have an accountability partner.
That's actually how I met Anne Marie. So we first started as accountability partners with CRM systems. And then I always joke and say she's probably one of the best closings I ever did because she's been in the business now 17 years. And I think for 18 months we were working together. Mm-hmm. And she saw me hungry. I was in the office every day. How can I learn? I was bringing my baby to the office. I was like, how can I be there? What open houses can I do? What training can I be involved in? And then when the opportunity came to merge our businesses, it was a no-brainer for her because we had already learned how each other worked and operated for so long. So I think it's important. It's so important.
For sure.
Because you can get lazy.
Oh.
Not you,
no,
but
as
me.
Human beings.
Yeah, we can get lazy.
I know.
we don't have to punch a clock, so it's easy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when there's nobody telling you what to do, you can definitely fall back and just forget about your business.
Yeah, I agree.
So tip number 9 is join marketing events, real estate events, anything that you can get your name out, meet other people, and just market. I recently went to the Tom Ferry Summit, and that changed my business completely. I decided that I'm going to quit my part-time job when I come back. I met a bunch of real estate agents from all over the US and Canada, and I made these connections. And these people are going to be the people that I refer my clients to if they want to move out of state. And hopefully I'll be the agent they refer their clients to.
No, you will be. You will be.
I will
you guys
be.
are all heard that. So if you met her, you know you're going to refer your business to her. And Tom Ferry, if you're watching, because you should be watching us, because we are your next top coaching clients. You guys have a bet, and she's totally gonna kick ass, and you're gonna owe her $10,000.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
So Tom came up to me in the middle of the summit and bet me $10,000 for doing a 25 deals by the next summit. So we're doing everything to make that work.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Watch out, Tom. I'm coming for you.
We want that check.
Last tip is to do the job with good intentions. If you're not doing the job for your client and instead you're just doing it to get the money, you're gonna fail. It's gonna come back and bite you in the ass. You need to make sure that you have their back no matter what. And dual agency is another thing that I do not mess with, and you guys do not mess with. I've had other agents tell me, yeah, well, you're gonna get more money. I'm like, no, we don't do dual agency.
So dual agency is different because dual agency technically means if a brokerage has 2 agents in it representing one a buyer, one the seller, that's considered dual agency. What we're talking about is double representation in the same deal of a buyer and a seller, and we don't do that. No. So that comes along with like what's more important, the client or the paycheck. So you can still work out a referral, you can still get paid for being a part of that, but you can't have your hands on deck. If you're representing a seller in a transaction and a buyer comes along and wants to buy from you, you should outsource it to a colleague because you can't truly have their best interest when the seller is writing your check.
Yeah.
But other states have banned it and it's illegal, and then here we are in California and it's still legal. So it happens all the time. Some of the most successful people do it. We just believe in having a lot of integrity, and sometimes that means passing up on a big check or not taking as much of the big check to give it to someone else to ensure you never have to question, did you follow your integrity to the fullest?
Yeah, I mean, I have a client right now that's dealing with something after the case, and I'm still there for her, supporting her and making sure that, you know, she knows that I have her back, and no matter what, I'm going to make sure that everything is cleared.
Yeah.
So when you have those good intentions, the client's going to come back to you and refer other friends and family to you.
Yeah. I actually have so many clients, and I can tell you, almost every single one of them, 80% of my like loyal clients have a cousin or a very close family member that is a real estate agent, and they will not use them. And so your brand, your reputation, and your intentions are so important.
Yeah, reputation for sure. If you don't have those good intentions, it's going to come back and everyone's going to hear about it.
It's a small world in the real estate business.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a list of blacklisted agents. Like if I see a property and my clients want to write an offer on it, I warn them that we could have the worst experience. I will still represent them. We will still fight. We will still get the property if they want it. But they could try to take advantage of us in escrow because they've proven to be snakes. Like it is what it is. And I think every realtor that's been in the business or done enough transactions has that list of agents that they don't want to work with.
Yeah, I actually have interviewed with, or I was thinking about interviewing with a team, and because they had that bad reputation, I decided not even to interview with them and to back off and forget about it, even though they were making lots of money and closing lots of deals, and I'm just like, I'm going to stay away.
We had to leave a team for the same reason. It was definitely going to be brand suicide.
Yeah.
We actually even had to not take on a client, a really big client that wanted to give us multiple buildings and leasing out their entire buildings. Wow. And once I researched the company, I said, and it was hard for me. It was so hard for me. But I was like, this is brand suicide and I'm not doing it. And I told them that. I said, have you ever Googled yourself? Because if you haven't, you should now. And I don't know who will work with you, but it will not be our team.
Yeah, and you can't get rid of that.
No.
Like once it's online
it's
and
there.
Once other people know about it, they're not going to forget about it.
Yeah. Those are all such good tips.
Thank you.
So happy anniversary, 1 year. pretty much the moral of the story is bust your ass, put in the work. There are rip off and duplicate systems that you can create. Live by a schedule. It's not all glamorous. If you're getting into the business for real estate, for all the things you see on TV, don't do it. Reach out to Loosine. You can ask her some questions about what her experience is like wherever the like button is on this page.
This way.
This way. Down. Oh, it's down. Like, comment, DM. I'm sure subscribe. I'm sure there's tons of things that we haven't answered. Let us know what your other questions are, because if you have them, a million other people have them, and we'd love to talk about them. And until next time, beautiful humans, namaste.